No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here. No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here. No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here. No hate.
Here at West County Detention, our loved ones, neighbors, community members are being locked up for being brown or black or refugee or too poor to post bail. This is a county jail. And the county also collects rent from the federal government to serve as the Bay Area's ICE detention center. You've got to follow the money as in all things here. About 1,000 people are incarcerated here, and there is a 400-bed expansion planned. So we all have to keep our eyes and push back on that. To put a stop to this, to say we want to build a society that is not based on punishment, that is based on caring, that is based on shared humanity and taking care of each other. That's what we want.
I guess it's kind of just a culminating, hearing things in the news and you hear them and they're so overwhelming. And finally it's just like, well, I have to find somewhere at least to go with some like-minded people.
I met David in Golden Gate Park while walking my dogs. He'd be reading Theodore Adorno or Guy Debord, and for some reason, my always overreactive barking dog embraced him without a bark, and he quickly became a friend of mine. He told me that he'd been going to ICE protests, and he invited me to come along.
Because I feel like there are a lot of people, families, kids, parents who deserve to have a better life, and they don't always get heard, and so those of us who can speak need to do everything we can to speak for their better interests.
There are no borders. There are no borders. We're standing on stolen land. We share industries. We share working families. We share our outrage in what's happening in this country. And I want to let you know that in Contra Costa County, the 4th wealthiest county in the 5th largest economy on earth, we don't value building jails over emergency rooms. We don't value expanding. We're ashamed that we have the ICE detention center in our county, and we're sorry. And I want to thank everybody who came from out of the county this week to help us stop the concentration camp in Concord. Thank you. Thank you for your activism. Bring it north, bring it east to Contra Costa. We need you. We are one. Good morning, Bay Area. Good morning, Bay Area. Make some noise so our comrades inside can hear you!
Obviously, people who are trying to immigrate to this country, who are fleeing violence and difficult things, and then, to come here and be treated so poorly and have, these very abusive things like having your children taken away from you. It's a heinous thing that should never happen. So that's why I wanted to come to this to say that is the truth. Don't do this. Stop it. And I hope that we can, have some whatever little impact we can by doing this.
Hi everyone, my name is Juan Prieto. I'm undocumented and unafraid. I think for many years in the immigrant rights movement, we've been folks in more mainstream organizations have been claiming that we should reunite families, bring families together. What that meant for Obama was creating family prisons. We shouldn't be demanding family prisons. We should be demanding that ICE be abolished and all of its tentacles be cut off. That they are locked up is only because there's profit that can be made by GEO Group or Core Civic, two private companies that benefit off of the incarceration of black folks and are now trying to create an empire around locking up migrants. It's not just a national enemy. It's happening here in Contra Costa with Sheriff Livingston. This system is not brand new, it is just a clone of what we already have. And if we can abolish ICE and imagine a world where migrants are not caged up and families separated because of them, we can imagine a world without prisons. We can create compassionate alternatives. We are smart enough to create that. That there are people who think they're smarter, who want to profit off of the misery of detention and imprisonment is a completely different story. But we can create compassionate alternatives.